Alright, November 17th. Let's get right into this. Oh. Alright, that was a swing high. First entry, second entry, 5 point. We know that. 5 point, whatchamacallit? Entry works. And yeah. Alright, we can suspect a lot of longs here, so I think going short would be the best option. I just don't want to take it on a second entry short, and we already know this market treats down here. Yeah. All right, now we have a swing high first entry. We could suspect the second entry here, and we could enter on a 5 point entry, especially if we get close to these lows here. And as you can see right there, so your entrance would have been right here at 25 high, so your entrance would be at 25 low. And just a couple ticks off. Right, so 25 high, 25 low. All right, let's see if this one works in. All right, just entered the trade. Nice, we got the scalp. I'm just going to exit this trade so we can have another opportunity to enter here. And it looks like people could potentially be going long here. There are these lows, so a second entry short might be the best setup here actually. And people like to trade those corrections, so we can suspect a lot of people trying to go long here. And this is a temporary trend, and we know that at 7 a.m. to 8:30, people like to chase those temporary trends, so we can suspect a lot of people going long here. Just entered the trade. All right, so no. If you had a spike there, a ton of people would be going short as well. No, it's fine. And yep, so you had that spike there. I just thought I remembered it to continue go lower, so yeah. That's why I went short, but it doesn't work out apparently. Yeah, no, it doesn't work out. Okay, but I think we have another setup here. No, we don't. All right, I've been recording backwards. Very nice. No trades yet. I mean, there was a 1 tick entry here you could have took, but I just thought that was a double top, and a lot of people would have counted that as a double top. All right, a couple entries we didn't take here. That was a 1 tick entry you could have took, but it was just not a strong enough spike. It was only 1 bar for me, so if it was a little bit more of a spike, then of course we would take down a 1 tick entry. But then I thought about doing a 3 point entry, but on a non-obvious. But I didn't want to do that. Did want to go long, just yeah. Wish it was a little bit more of a spike. It is that breakout of a resistance to a pullback, so going long there was a good idea. There's a lot of swings on the minute chart that there aren't even on the 450, and I'm pretty sure not on the 400 because they're checked. I think like in a previous video. So, all right, we just switched to the 950. Now we can imagine if prices start to move. I'm just not going to talk. Still no trades really. Just got into a trade here. And the scalp, nice 5 point entry. Okay, so let's go ahead and just try to explain this one real quick. We'll keep the market going. We had a double top here, first entry, second entry. Determining how far that 5 point is pretty difficult. I had my entry way up here at first. We knew I was on the low, but I didn't realize it was going to be this between these two lines right here. I thought it was up here. But you have to make sure that if it's on the low, your order is going to be on the high. If you're going, yeah, you know, just make sure it's 5 points. So here, that's 2, 4, then the fifth one, 5 point right there. We knew if the prices were going to go ahead and start working up here, especially in these lows, there's a lot of support here. And we knew if the markets, you can see from right here, probably even back here somewhere, maybe even here. Yeah, as you can see right here, there's a lot of support right there, and we can imagine as soon as that market started to push up there, people thought they had it, And a lot of people started going long, and maybe even some people were taking profits, and that's what shot the market right back down. So good trade, good read. Seems like 5-point entries are a really good way to handle range days so far. Doesn't mean we're ready to trade yet. We're just really just practicing our range days, because trading days are a little bit easier. Yeah. All right, we had entered a trade, and we just got the scalp as well. It's a 1-tick entry. Surprisingly enough, I think a lot of people were going to go ahead and try to use this like strong, massive push down. As you can see, it's just a massive drop on the 1-minute chart, and try to step out. Maybe the people who had their stops from last night or something, swing traders, maybe. Anyway, I had a strong feeling that people were just going to keep shorting this thing. And there was a good opportunity to go short right there. And it looks like a ton of people are going short, which is why the market's pushing up here. And people were taking profits and stuff. And there was a good second entry right here. 1-tick entry. Yes, a 1-tick entry. Mainly because we broke already past this over here. And this is before the day. So you can imagine a lot of people saying to themselves, all right, the market's going to keep pushing lower. You could have been like, oh, we're going to short here because people like to trade back into the range. However, you have this massive strong trend down, and it doesn't look as massive until you go to the 1-minute chart, and then that's a crazy drop. So that was a good trade. You just using the minute chart there. So you had the strong trend down, a good setup. We just broke past this level of resistance, support, level of support, and stop all these people out. So a ton of people were going to use this to think, all right, we're going to keep going in this direction. 1-tick entry is the one we take, and not a non-obvious 3-pointer or a 5-pointer. I think one was the best option because a ton of people were going to go short using that right there. You could have done a 5-pointer, but you would have not gotten into the trade, which is more than fine. I just think people were going to keep buying there if it kept pushing that far, just due to the fact that, hey, it's going to keep going. There's got to be a bottom to this, and people are going to start buying. And if it got that far down, I think a lot of people would start actually buying, trying to reverse the market there. Yep. Just entered a trade, got stopped out. That's unfortunate. Huge spike down, 2 crazy legs down. We got stopped out by the tick, man. Looks like a non-obvious would have worked there pretty easily. Oh wait, why did I do a 1-tick entry? So that's why did I do a 1-tick entry? There was no reason to do a 1-tick entry. It's only 2 bars. So a non-obvious would have worked, and that's the one you should have took. Because you want to sell, because now that you broke out of this level of support, people love to trade back into that range. So that was all right, that's all right. But we knew that was just a slight mess up. I was a little distracted with my phone, but just got into a trade and just got stopped out of that trade. All right, you have a bottoming pattern here, and you had a swing low, first entry, second entry right there. Going short is the best option right there, and you would have got that super easy. The reason you would go short is because it's been a range day, and you had a spike down, and people trying to buy their way back into the market here. It would have been a super difficult read, but I had played if it came down this far, then it would have reversed. So I'm actually okay with this stop out here. Actually, not really, because it's a bottoming pattern, and usually in bottoming patterns, people will ride it out, and so they'll keep their stops here. And our entry was right there, so as soon as it started coming down, they'll just hold on to it on that bottoming pattern. So bottoming patterns, people are gonna hold on to their positions and are just gonna not move it. But if it was not a bottoming pattern, it was just like a swing low, and just like a bunch of randomness, I think the whole story would have been a lot different. People would have moved their stops and whatnot. Entered another trade here, and we just got the scalp, and just the scalp. That was lucky. Let's see if it'll drop here. Nope, we got super duper lucky there, boys. Just by a couple ticks. Wow. So okay, we had double top here, first entry, second entry, and we knew that if prices were to start working up, a ton of people would start buying and would push the market into the other direction. However, we've been on this crazy massive downtrend that if that little correction started happening here, we can imagine a lot of people start to buy or maybe even start selling, but obviously either one could happen. But yeah, the market was going to push up, and not everybody was going to be convinced that the market was going to keep pushing up, so everybody started to sell again, and that's what really pushed the market up. But hopefully it was just good enough that enough people thought the market was going to go up here, and that's why we sold, and a lot of people took profit as well. So yeah, just got entered into the market, and we got the scalp, boys, just by the stick. Alright, I'm going to pause the market real quick just to explain what happened here. We had a swing low first entry, second entry, and we did not do a short, a second entry short, or one tick entry because the market was going to start pushing up here, and I was convinced that enough people were going to be buying here to try and push the market right back to the other side here, to the highs. And because of that, I didn't want to buy and join them. And I didn't want to sell either because I was worried that if enough people started selling, market would push up, stop us out, and then go ahead and head in this direction. So instead, we did a 5-point entry saying if the market started to push down here, we could have enough people convinced that this just fooled everybody. This is going to come over here. It's going to get ready to stop everybody out. And so that's why we took that right there, saying if it came down this far, enough people were going to exit or try to hop on the bandwagon of shorting, and all these people who went long started exiting because they just want their money and take the profits. And yeah, that was a good trade. Tiny bit of a double bottom here on the 1-minute chart, so it's good to have it open because it doesn't look like it right here. Looks like a one ticker would have worked here. It was a little bit of a spike. I was just a little bit worried about that double bottom we had here. Actually, no, yeah, we should have took that on a one tick entry because a ton of people would start buying there on a double bottom. Yeah, so we should have went ahead and took that. I just thought since we've been on this crazy downtrend, a ton of people would start buying there. Start selling to try and step out everybody here. But it looks like that move was strong enough to have everybody keep their position here. Interesting note there. All right, so yeah, that one tick entry should have been the best idea because people are going to trade that double bottom, and after a spike like that, a ton of people are going to have their stops here and won't have an option but to exit at that point after a spike like that. If it was a little bit more of a trend, then I'd be hesitant to take that double bottom, but that'll be a good trade because you had a huge spike that convinced a lot of people to go long and just leave their stop right here. And as soon as that market starts to head directly toward their stop, then we're gonna hold it and just maybe hope and it comes out and stops them all out before pushing right back up. So the one tick entry was the best option right there. Also, it was a spike. Your last swing high was here. Swing high, first entry, yeah, huge spike. And yeah, right there. Got a little bit of a triple bottom here on the 1-minute chart. It's also like a head and shoulders. Just entered the market. Not too happy about this entry though. Okay, I'm glad we got stopped out there. So that was something else I was noticing. There's not really an indication to be like, oh yeah, if it came up this side, there's a ton of stops here and the market's going to head towards those stops no matter what. But there is something I did like, which was the swing low first entry. And if the market starts pushing down this direction, we could suspect a lot of shorts coming in. No entry. Just entered the market here. I'm really happy with this trade, even if we don't get the scalp. We had a strong bottoming pattern here, and as you can see, once that market started to push up, a ton of people were going to start buying, and we entered on a 5-pointer here. We had a swing high, first entry, second entry. That would be your signal bar, and entering on that 5-pointer. If the market came up and kept going up, we could suspect a lot of people hopping in on the bandwagon to try to go long, and that happened just enough for us to get our scalp, or that was maybe just a huge coincidence. That's probably it. But hey, not too shabby. We're not doing too bad. Might have been broke even if we took some trades. I've been recording backwards. Oh my god, how long is this video? Oh, not too bad. Looks like a non-obvious would have worked here. Mm-mm-mm. When do we take non-obvious 3-point entries? Just enter the trade. Oh, nice. Okay, that was a good trade. We just broke out of this like level of resistance, so we kind of pushed in, but people were still using this as like a level of resistance because we tested it there a bunch of times. And as soon as we broke back into it, people love to trade back to the other side of that like range, and this could be looked at as a range. And we got the runner as well, which was like that would be the highs, the lows would be over here, and people were gonna go ahead and try to trade back to the other side. With that being said, we had the swing low, the first entry, second entry, and once we bounced off the highs and the market started to move down after having like a strong spike up, people were going to try to pick the tops and try to trade it right back down. So we said to ourselves, if the market comes down a certain point, which is specifically the strat we're using is 5 points, and as you can see, that's a good strat because we just got in by a couple ticks, got both the scalp and the runner luckily. And yeah, it's actually difficult for me to realize like where the market's going on second entries, but I'm a lot more confident in areas where I can say, all right, we hit this level of resistance or support or whatever, we hit this specific area, and if we start moving in the other direction or in that direction, that there's going to be a ton of people hopping on the same bandwagon and trying to hop on it, and they have FOMO essentially, and that's something we could take advantage of. Just their orders at least, not necessarily them stopping out. And it looks like a 5-point entry would have worked here fantastically on a swing high, first entry, and your entry would have been this guy right here actually. So if unless you got in at the tick, then it would have been a good trade, but you don't want to enter it after it pulled down, came to your tick, because what you wanted to happen already happened. You just weren't lucky enough to get in that trade. All right, we got the scalp. I didn't really record it because I was a little worried that wouldn't have worked out, but it works out according to this specific theory, which is if we look at the 1 minute chart, which I was using heavily for this trade, we have this particular motion, you know. That one went backwards, but you get the idea. And so once the market started to push back here and everybody started to see it go long, and which it looks like they're right, but we just got super duper lucky with that one. Actually extreme lucky because we got it by the tick. So probably not the best trade, but we got it. We got it just by literally 2 ticks. Probably maybe 1 tick if it was live. But anyway, swing high, first entry, and we knew that as soon as that market started to push up, a ton of people were going to go long as well. But it's surprising that a lot of people started selling after that drop, because it looks like a lot of people are still trying to pick this top apparently, but we're not here to predict that. We just knew that just based on the pattern that people were going to be buying here, and we entered on the 1 tick entry. No other entry would have worked here actually. A second entry long would have worked, but we don't really trade those too much, just because we don't trade with trend or against trend. So, and those usually work if you're doing like max strategy. Yeah. Wow, I can't believe we got that trade. So we had a swing high here. I don't know if you can see it, but we had a swing high on double triple top sort of thing, then a first entry, then the market pushes down here first, then it comes up here. That's where your entry is, and we entered there on an obvious trade. Probably a non-obvious would be the better play, just because we had this level of resistance across the board here, as you can see right there. And then we start having this like trouble pushing up here, so probably a non-obvious would have been the best one. And no, I would still do a 1 ticker there no matter what, just because it's your first opportunity to enter this strong uptrend, and people are assuming prices are going to come back all the way to the highs over here. Looks like we came to the tick and we got the runner. Man, I can't believe we're green on the 17th. This day was so hard to trade before. Looks like we're taking a lot less trades, which is probably a very, very good thing. Yeah, yeah, that was a swing low first entry, second entry here, but it wasn't really a spike or anything. Yeah, a good trade. I think I'm gonna call it for today. This is 10 o'clock, and yeah, hopefully this is enough information to be somewhat confident in this market. Yeah, I think we're pretty confident now.